Is an inferior to the zygomatic process is a small depression that's upside down. And the mandible is going to fit up in that. And that forms the temporal mandibular joint. So that small depression is called the mandibular fossa. Fossa is like a saucer-like depression. So if your mandible is still attached to your skull, just kind of gently pull it down away from that joint, and you'll see the depression that the condyle or neck of the mandible fits into. All right, it fits like this. Actually, we'll talk about this joint on Thursday. When you open your mouth, it doesn't just rock. It actually comes out and forward, and then rests, and you move your jaw, and then when you close your jaw, it slides back up inside. So people that have T&J problems, the little cartilage disc that slides out with it can catch, and then you can have a frozen, your jaw doesn't move, you have locked jaw kind of, or you can hear a clicking sound sometimes as that cartilage is sliding. All right, so let's finish up by looking at the occipital bone, and then I'll give you, you'll have about 30 minutes, 40 minutes of actual lab time to study these, okay, and just quiz each other on them. So occipital bone doesn't have too much. It has a bump in the back. My husband has two, called the external occipital protuberance, right here. That's also a site of muscle attachment. It just means a big bump in the backbone. Right? Then if you turn the occipital bone back to this view, so you have it upside down, you can see two rounded surfaces near the jugular foramen, and these are called occipital condyles. With one exception, condyles are rocking joint surfaces. They look like a big wide rocker. They are joint surfaces. So on our human skeleton here, the femur has two condyles on the bottom of the femur. So these would each be the condyles for the femur where it forms a joint with the tibia and the leg. Right? So those two condyles of the occipital bone are going to articulate with the first vertebra. So when you rock your head back and forth like this, those occipital condyles are rocking on that first vertebra. And then between the two condyles, we have this large opening. The spinal cord transitions to the brainstem at that point, and it's called the foramen magnum. Magnum meaning large. It's not the largest of the openings in the body, but it's the second largest. And then the last opening on your real skull is much larger than I'm used to on the plastic skull. But there's an opening for a nerve that goes to your tongue, called our word for tongue in the body is glossal. And so this is called the hypoglossal nerve. And the opening is the hypoglossal canal. So if you were to put your stick or your pipe cleaner through, it kind of is at that angle. Right, so it's going to be right in here going over in anatomical position, the way you're holding the skull going under the occipital condyle. Just between the jugular foramen and the occipital condyle is the hypoglossal canal. Okay, so yeah, so you've got it. It's hypoglossal. Comes out it. Yes, I don't know. It's not really above the tongue. I mean, below the tongue, but that's the condyle, and then your hypoglossal canal is right there. Okay. Yep. That one. So that's the jugular foramen, and the hypoglossal is that one right there. Okay, so that's the hypoglossal, that's the jugular, and then the internal is that one right there. You can only see it on the inside. Okay. All right, so you've got it right there. So that would be the hypoglossal nerve would be coming out there, coming here, and then traveling to the tongue. Okay, so hypoglossal canal. And these two processes right here are the occipital condyles. So in the actual anatomical position of the skull, they're going to be superior and resting on the atlas or the first vertebra.